Hello everyone, this is Andy from the Pixel Pub, and I'm here to talk about the best Metroidvanias on the Switch. If you've followed this channel for any amount of time, you know I love Switch games and I love Metroidvanias, so I want to talk about some of my favorite here on the Switch. But the first two I'm going to present I don't have on the Switch, but they are available on the Switch. So I'm just going to bring them up right now at the same time. It's Prince of Persia, Lost Crown, and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. These two games I own on not the Switch. Obviously, I actually played Bloodstained on the PC and ended up getting a physical version on the PS4. And Prince of Persia Lost Crown I just beat like yesterday morning on the PS5, and I really enjoyed it. These are two very high quality Metroidvanias, in my opinion, some of the best made in the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I don't have them on the Switch, mostly because I feared of performance issues. I think Bloodstained had them when it came out a few years ago. I'm not sure about Prince of Persia. I just went ahead and wanted the PS5 version and got the PS5 version. And it ran smooth as butter. But they are available on the Switch if that's the way you want to go. And performance issues don't really bother you that much. Then hey, play them on the Switch because they're both really good. First Switch game on this list is a game I've talked to death about on this channel. If you've watched any of the Switch videos, I probably brought it up once or twice. It's Infernox. It's amazing. I played it through it on Game Pass on the Xbox. Just wasn't really expecting too much, but 2 or 3 days later I'd beaten it and I had fallen in love with it. It was one of my favorite games of that year, and I had to get a physical version on the Switch. I got it from Limited Run Games, the store not too far away from us. It's still sealed. I was going to keep it sealed because it's one of my favorite games, so I wanted to have a sealed version of it. I could play it on the Game Pass on the Xbox anytime I wanted to. That's not the case anymore. They took it off Game Pass, so someday I'm going to have to crack this open and replay it on the Switch, which I'm totally fine with. Actually been itchy to do it here lately. Been wanting to get that Metroidvania vibe. This game, heavily inspired by stuff like Vexanadu and Castlevania Simon's Quest. It's your little knight running through this medieval area, fighting demons, and you make choices of what you want to do sometimes. That's pretty interesting for a game like this. There's also some extra stuff after you beat the game or in the game that I couldn't find it. I saw in trailers later on. I was like, what is that? I know there's like a jetpack and stuff. Like it gets pretty weird. But the base game by itself, if you missed all that like I did, just a ton of fun. It feels super great to play. And fun pixel art, just great stuff. Infernox. All right, next up is a game that very clearly wears this inspiration on the sleeve. It is Time Spinner on the Switch. This game looks a lot like Symphony of the Night. They took that kind of graphical style and kind of ran with it. You play as this fun little blue-haired lady who's trying to save her clan or something like that, if I remember correctly. Collect a lot of magic attacks. You have these 2 orbs that you could throw out, and they'll do different things based on what you equip to them, and that's a lot of fun to discover all that stuff. I will always love that graphical style of Symphony of the Night because I played that game so much. It really speaks to me. It's hitting this nostalgia feels all over, but it's just a very fun game. I know Time Spinner 2 was supposed to come out last year, or they announced it. I don't know if it was actually supposed to come out last year, but I'd put it in my games to look forward to in 2024, but it did not come out. Yes, if you love Metroidvanias, it owes yourself to play Time Spinner because it's a great damn time. All right, next up, we got a collection of the Vanias that make up the Metroidvania genre. Is the Castlevania Advance Collection. On the Switch, it has the 3 Game Boy Advance games and Dracula X for some reason. They just threw it in there. But this is really in here for Aria of Sorrow. I really love that game. I played through it last year for the first time to completion, and it holds up. It's a very old game from 2002 or 3 or something like that. It's a Game Boy Advance game, and it scratches all those Metroidvania itches. I have not played Harmony of Dissonance too much outside of an emulator back in the day, and Circle of the Moon it's close to being a Metroidvania, but I don't think it doesn't quite get there. These are well-regarded games for a reason, especially Aria of Sorrow. If you can go out of your way to just play Aria of Sorrow, do it because it's amazing. I'm really wanting to get that Castlevania Dominus Collection, which is the DS games on the Switch for Dawn of Sorrow, the sequel, and Portrait of Ruin and Order of Ecclesia, which is damn fine collection of games right there. Can't wait to play them again on the Switch, but for now, Castlevania the Advanced Collection, check it out. Okay, next up is 2 games really, but I only have the one here. It is Aent Verge 1 and 2. Only have 2 physically, but 1 is available on the Switch. These are very fun games. At first Axiom Verge, you take a look at it, you're like, I know exactly what you're trying to go after. Metroid. And it looks exactly like, or not exactly like, but it looks like a homage to original NES Metroid, and is a ton of fun to play. It is just a weird sci-fi story with kind of goopy graphics and stuff with 8-bit style, which, you know, it looks kind of, everything looks kind of disgusting and wet in it, but 8-bit. The sequel is a bit different. The first game, you are collecting a bunch of weapons that are really fun, a lot of shooty weapons, what am I thinking of? Ranged weapons. You're shooting bullets and stuff like that. This one's more melee focused, so you got like a sword and stuff like that. And it was a damn fun time. The first one's a damn fun time too. I think it's the better of the two. But I had pre-ordered this from Limited Run because I did really like the first one, and I want to get on the second one, but I wanted a physical version because I know I like the first one so much. And it wasn't as good, but it's still really good. Yeah, Aent Verge 1 and 2, you need to check them out. Okay, next up is a fun one, but a hard one. It is Metroid Dread. And talk about Dread this final boss, because this is a game that I did not beat. I got to the final boss, fought him about 15 times straight, didn't even come close, and just said, you know what, I'm beat. But don't take that away from the game. I am famously not a very good gamer. I'm pretty bad, but you might be better. But the whole lead up to that final boss was a ton of fun. I had a lot of fun with this. This is a Metroid game made by the what is it? Mercury Steam? Is that the name of the developer? They made Return of Samus on the remake on the 3DS. They also made those weird Castlevania games on the Xbox 360. But it's got Samus with the whole parry attack. That's a lot of fun to hit. It's got the robots that chase you in certain parts. That can be fun to infuriating, because it can be, like I said, it's hard. They don't pull their punches with this game. But yeah, there has to be Metroid games on this list of best Metroidvanias on the Switch, right? And this is a damn good one. I'm pretty sure you'll be better than me. You need to play it right now. Okay, speaking of Metroid games, we got Metroid Prime Remastered. Now, this is a game that I did beat, and I had a damn good time with it. It's a game that I did play back in the day, like 04 on the GameCube. But it's not a game that I beat, but I did have a lot of fun with it. But the problem was, back then, I was a young kid or little punk teenager, and I was just going around doing hooligan shit and playing games seldomly. And when I came back to play like Metroid, I was like, man, I need to go back and play that again. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I didn't know where to go, what the buttons did. So I got maybe about halfway through the game, and I was just like, I just don't know what to do anymore besides starting over, and that just wasn't going to happen. So when this remaster got announced, I was very on board. I got it day one. I beat it in like 3 or 4 sittings. I was so into this. This is an amazing first-person Metroidvania that, there's not a lot of those. It's not something that a lot of people have tackled, but Retro did for Nintendo back in the day, and it's really good. I'm waiting for Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, which I've never really played. We bought it on the GameCube a few years ago. I tried to play it on our CRT. I think our CRT is too dark. I can't tell what the fuck's going on. But yeah, I'm hoping they do Metroid Prime 2 Remastered, maybe 3. I played a little bit of 3 on the Wii. And Metroid Prime 4, I'm going to be in there day one for that when it comes out, either on Switch or Switch 2. We're not sure yet. But yeah, Metroid Prime, this is a definite must-play. Okay, next up we got a licensed game, a licensed Metroidvania on this list, and it is the Mummy Demastered. It's based on the Mummy movie that I think didn't come out. It's supposed to be the start of like the big MCU, but with the Universal monsters like Mummy and Invisible Man and stuff like that. Frankenstein, like weird. I think that whole thing was a gigantic failure, but this game's amazing, made by WayForward. They know what they're doing with 2D games. This is way more on the Metroid style of things instead of the Castlevania style. You're collecting a lot of weapons, shooting a lot of mummies, demons, stuff like that. It had a fun death mechanic, if I remember correctly, kind of akin to Dark Souls, where you have to, when you die, you have to go back from your respawn point and collect your stuff along the way. But yeah, super fun time. Do not overlook it, because like I said, it is a licensed game. It's damn good. Like, if you haven't played Mummy Demastered, if you passed on with it because of the movie stigma or whatever, don't. It's very good. Okay, next up we got a procedurally generated game. Like, usually these Metroidvanias aren't that. They're more of, a crafted world where you collect your certain things, like your double jump or your, thing you could break down walls with, and you go back to those crafted areas and you use those items so you can explore more of the world. This one, procedurally generated, I wasn't very hyped about it. I saw it and I was like, I don't know if that's going to work, but it is Chasm, and it works, as it turns out. I had a ton of fun with Chasm. Another one of those games that I sat down, and before I knew it, I'd beat it. It is, like I said, procedurally generated. It gives you a seed and, you know, makes the world what it is. And then I guess for replayability, stuff like that. I don't replay a ton of games. Like I was just talking about replaying Infernox, and I really wouldn't do that, but generally not for me. I don't know, that's a cool idea, and especially when it works for so well and stuff like this. Chasm is super cool, and it's more akin to the Castlevania style. You're collecting swords and, you know, blunt objects and, you know, melee attacks and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a fun time. Chasm, check it out. Okay, last up is a game more of the lineage of like the Wonder Boy series, which is a fun set of Metroidvanias. It is Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. I played this game several years ago on the Switch. As a matter of fact, we played it, or I played it when we didn't have a house. It was in between us moving from our last house to here, and this got me through that. I was like, this is gonna be a fun time. It is a great game. It has amazing art and amazing music. It has amazing music. One of the composers, his name is really escaping me right now. It's gonna bother the shit out of me. What's his name? It has amazing art and amazing music. Some of my favorite composers of all time, Michiru Yamane. I think if I pronounced her name right, she did the Symphony of the Night soundtrack. And I'm gonna look at my phone here. Motoi Sakuraba. I've seen his name on some of the Tales games. And I really like the soundtracks of the Tales games. I got Tales of Symphonia soundtrack on vinyl right now. It's damn good. But yeah, it is a fun time. Throwback to the Wonder Boy games. Obviously not a Wonder Boy game. They did their own thing called Monster Boy. It is kind of a challenge, though. There are certain points in the game where you have to have a certain amount of like a magical spell. Like this, it's like this object in front of you is going to take 50 shots with your fire magic. If you don't have 50, you only have 20. It's like, well, you have to go back and find the ones that get you 50 so you can make progress in the game. And that can be kind of annoying, but overall, I had a damn good time with it. Monster Boy, if you're a fan of good art, if you're a fan of good music, if you're a fan of Metroidvanias, check out Monster Boy. Okay, that's it. That's some of my favorite Metroidvanias on the Switch. I secretly made this video so that people can watch it if they like Metroidvanias and see what I like and recommend ones to me that I haven't played. Let me know. I want to play some more. I love Metroidvanias. Like I said, just beat Prince of Persia yesterday. Had a damn good time with it, and I need more. So, let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. All of that fun stuff. I've been Andy from the Pixel Pub. Peace out.